Welcome back. A lot of us take for granted the ability to take a deep breath. Not everybody has that ability. This weekend, a local group hopes you'll help in the fight against the nation's #1 cancer killer, lung cancer. Mike Savaki with Breathe Deep Des Moines joins us to tell us a little bit more about the event called Lungevity. And we should say, full disclosure, Mike is usually the guy behind the camera, the director of the Channel 13 News at Noon. And so we're going to flip things on you and get you out here and talk about this event instead. You, like a lot of people, have a really personal connection to lung cancer. Where was your first experience with this disease?
When I was about 9 years old, my father was diagnosed with lung cancer. And the first thought everybody always has is, must have been a smoker. My father was a smoker, but had stopped smoking. He had smoked when he was in the Navy in the 60s, hadn't smoked for more than a decade, and was diagnosed with lung cancer, had about a softball-sized tumor in his lung. Went through the normal rigmarole, the chemo and radiation, and eventually got into remission. Eventually it came back, and then he lost his battle in August of '92.
When you were a kid, did you understand the severity of the diagnosis of lung cancer? Was it as heavy? Do you remember it being as heavy on your family? And understanding that as a kid?
I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how much do you really understand when you're that young? When my dad was first diagnosed, they gave him about a 5% chance, a 1 in 20 chance to make it to the 5-year. 5 years is really the cure stage when they think that you're over it. They gave him about a 5% chance. And for a while, it looked like he was that 5%.
Yeah.
But then it just
This came back into your life a few years ago with a friend of yours and another personal connection, and that's what brings this event back to Des Moines. Tell me about that.
Brad and Hannah Plima, really great friends of mine. Hannah's sister was diagnosed with lung cancer, and she was the picture of health. Avid runner, 35 years old, perfect health. And long story short, she ended up passing away of lung cancer. And before she had passed, she was really looking for ways to help the lung cancer in general. And she found Lungevity. And it's a great organization that is really dedicated to not only advancing research for comfort levels, more or less. Not half the time, a lot of the time when you get a cancer diagnosis, a lot of times the treatment seems worse than the actual disease. And one of the things Lungevity tries to do is not only advance the effectiveness of the treatment, but to make the quality of life better as well. And so after Heidi had passed, who was Hannah's sister, Brad and Hannah looked around here and saw there were no events around here. So they started Breathe Deep Des Moines last year. This is just our second year. And I knew I was going to be involved anyway because they're great friends, but just having the personal connection I do to lung cancer, it was a no-brainer. Yeah, I knew I was going to be involved.
Let's give people the details again of a relatively new organization that's done a lot of good, some $14 million in donations toward treatment and research of lung cancer in particular and of treatment of lung cancer patients. There's a 5K walk and fun run that starts at 8 o'clock. It's at Raccoon River Park in West Des Moines. Registration $10 to $25. Lungevity.org/Des Moines is the place where you can find more information about this. A growing event here in Des Moines. They've had one in Kansas City.
We're hoping so.
Yeah, growing event here in Des Moines. Mike, thank you for coming out from behind the camera. We appreciate it, and good luck with the event this weekend.
Thank you.
We're back in just a couple of minutes with a look at the day's top stories. Stay with us.